There are people who spend their whole lives chasing the approval of others until they realize what they've lost is the voice within their own heart. Across the vast Mongolian steppe, amid the whistling wind and distant hoofbeats, a young man stands still. His hands are stained with black charcoal, moonlight shimmering in eyes that still hold tears. He doesn't know whether the fire in his chest is fear or longing. He only knows that tonight, the wind seems to be calling his name. Welcome to this channel, a place where small stories awaken the quiet strength within. Today, we travel to a land where the wind blows freely, yet hearts are bound by invisible chains. The fear of judgment, the worry of not being enough, and the endless pressure to please everyone. This is the story of Erdem, a young man born on the vast Mongolian steppe. He grew up to the sound of galloping horses, living inside his father's dream. Yet deep within, he carried a dream of his own. A dream that only the wind could understand. The morning sun spilled gold across the endless grasslands. Round felt tents glimmered under the mist. Horses neighed in the distance. Bells jingled softly, blending with the long breath of the Mongolian wind. Erdem woke while the sky was still pale purple. He stepped outside the tent, his hands trembling from the cold. His father, tall, broad, with eyes like steel, stood by the horses. "My son must ride faster than the wind," he used to say. Since childhood, Erdem had lived by those words. Every day the same, riding, hunting, playing the morin khur, practicing the bow. He did everything just to see his father nod, just to hear one simple phrase. "You did well." But praise was rare, like rain in a dry season. His father was stern, proud, silent, a man of the steppe. The harder Erdem tried, the emptier he felt inside. Whenever the wind passed, he would look up, watching the birds gliding, free and weightless. At night, while guarding the horses, he would secretly carve their shapes into a small piece of wood, rough lines that carried a dream he never dared to speak. One afternoon, as Erdem was carving a white horse, his father caught him. The man strode over, snatched the carving from his hands, and threw it into the fire. Flames roared, swallowing the image whole. Erdem froze. He said nothing, only clenched his fists, eyes shimmering with reflected firelight. His father turned away, saying only, "Men don't draw, men ride." That night, Erdem sat outside the tent in silence. The wind howled across the plain, carrying the scent of smoke, grass, and a dream now turned to ashes. The night wind whipped across his face, sharp as 1,000 cold needles. Erdem sat outside the tent, knees drawn close, staring at the dying fire. His father's words still echoed in his mind. "Men don't draw, men ride." Each word cut deeper than the last. He picked up a piece of charcoal fallen from the fire and began to draw on the dry earth. A horse appeared, trembling, uneven, fragile like his own heart at that moment. His shoulders trembled. He didn't know if it was the cold or the tears he had been holding back. He clenched his fists, black dust filling the lines of his palms. A sound broke the stillness behind him. His father stepped out of the tent, his shadow stretching long beneath the moonlight. They stood there, silent, while the wind moaned like the breath of the steppe itself. "You still don't understand, do you?" The father's voice rasped. "You weren't born to dream. You were born to inherit." Erdem lifted his gaze, eyes red and raw. "But if I can't live as myself, then what's the point of inheriting?" The question drifted into the wind, unanswered. His father turned away, and for the first time, Erdem saw the man's back slightly bent, as though the weight of his own pride had grown too heavy. The man who once stood like a mountain now looked like he might be carried away by the very wind he worshipped. Erdem opened his mouth to speak, but only breath came out, soft, trembling. The wind took everything, the ashes, the words, and the sorrow without a name. The night passed in silence. The wind still blew, but something inside Erdem had changed. At dawn, as the first rays of light brushed the grass, he walked quietly to the pile of ashes. Amid the cold charcoal, he found a half-burned piece of wood. A faint carving remained. The head of a horse, half gone, half surviving. He stared at it for a long time. Then he sat down, scooped a bit of charcoal, and began to draw again. Not on the ground, but on an old goat skin, weathered and rough. Each stroke was slow, trembling, yet this time free of fear. It was a language beyond words, a way to speak with himself and with his father. By afternoon, when his father returned from tending the horses, he saw Erdem sitting before the tent, a piece of goatskin spread across his knees. On it was a new image, a man riding through the wind, and behind him, a young boy watching. A faint smile touching his lips. His father stopped. The wind lifted his hair. For a long time, neither of them spoke. Then the old man's voice softened. The wind can blow however it wants. What matters is that you dare to ride the horse within your heart. Erdem looked up. In his father's eyes, he saw something new, understanding, and on that vast steppe, father and son stood side by side, the wind no longer dividing them, but binding them as one. Years later, on that same steppe, a small museum stood amid the endless green. Inside, among saddles, instruments, and nomadic relics, hung a special painting, charcoal on aged goatskin, faded with time. Travelers often stopped before it. They said if you listened closely, you could almost hear the wind blowing within. A whisper of freedom. The title read, "The Wind Inside." Artist, Erdem. Little was known about his later life, only that he left the steppe, wandering far and wide, painting stories of people and wind. In an old journal found beside his belongings, there was a single line. "I once lived in my father's wind, but now I let the wind within me blow free." On the hill where his family's tent once stood, the grass still sways in rhythm with the breeze. And when the wind rises, the locals say, "That's Erdem, smiling." Erdem's story reminds us, freedom isn't about how far we go, but how true we dare to be to ourselves. Each of us carries a horse within, a forgotten dream, a quiet longing waiting to be set free. If someday you feel the wind brushing your shoulder, pause for a moment, listen closely. Perhaps it's your own soul whispering back. Thank you for listening to today's story. Until we meet again, may the next wind you hear be the one that calls you home.